I think that what he tells me will be the truth, but it might not be enough
for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's confusing. It's confusing, but I just don't feel like it's gonna be enough.
Enough for what? Enough to move forward? Enough to really forgive? Enough to heal? Like, what are you? Enough for what? Enough of an excuse? Like, not an excuse, but enough of reasoning as to why I was gone or absent? Or enough to be like, okay.
Life was hard.
Yeah.
My bad. What the heck have I got going on? Hold on, dog.
I literally was gonna say too, like, I can see, like, you've been very vulnerable, like, after each episode. That's
crazy, though. Now we might gotta cut that.
No, we not cutting nothing.
But life was hard, man.
Yeah. It's okay. Okay.
And
different. Yeah.
Grandma raised you because, unfortunately, mom died when you were 2 years old, and your dad just wasn't around either.
Non-existent.
So, first, how did that impact you? Secondly, how do you feel like it prepared you for womanhood, momhood, or was it so much of an adjustment that you had to make?
So I feel like, okay, so my mom passed when I was like 2 years old, so I have no recollection of her at all. And so all I knew was my grandma, and my mom kind of passed when I was young and didn't really get a chance to cherish any memories with her, so I have no idea who this person is. And so all I knew was my grandma. So it's like, growing up, my grams was my mom and my dad. And it's crazy because you don't realize how things really feel or felt like until you get older. So like, when you're young, living in the moment, don't know who your dad is or whatever, of course I may have had questions, but it would just kind of go in one ear out the other. And so having grandma, it was just like, oh, this is just my life. I'm just living it out. And then you get older and you like, shoot, I grew up without parents. And my friends have parents. And so as I got older, the questions came for sure. But like I said, grams was like everything for me. So mom, dad, I really didn't want for anything. And then my godmother came into the picture when I was young as well.
Would you guys, let me look in the camera and tell you guys this. What my wife has just recently done. First, I'm gonna say that. Let's get to, because I just gotta commend her, because what you like. Let's talk about it. No, this is because you took my whole life and all my decision makers that I made inside of my whole life, and you just said, you wiped everything that I thought away, because I can no longer justify my actions because of what you've done.
Wow.
And that's crazy. Now let's get to it.
I'm so happy that I can't even make that big of an impact. Like, I kind of had a clue that it was probably feeling like that for you. Like, damn. Yeah. You could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
Like, so that was great to hear you say that.
So can we tell these people what's been going on?
You are more excited than me.
I am.
So yeah.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Sonny.
And I'm Tee.
And this is Not Wrong, Nor Is It?
Right.
For better or worse, we bow to the light. Not wrong, nor is it right. Not wrong, nor is it right. We tryna live right. We partners for life. Not wrong, nor is it right. Not wrong, nor is it right. Love conquers.
Yeah. Back at it.
Hi.
What's up?
Y'all, I miss this so much.
Same.
I miss doing this so much.
We hope y'all missed us as much as we missed y'all.
Yes.
I feel like we said this before, but
what?
We hope that they missed us, because I think we took a little short hiatus before this.
Yeah.
So can we make a vow that we were going to be more consistent? Like, all your business stuff is slowed down, all my business stuff is slowed down, and so we're going to be on this more and more and more, because we need to be talking to our people.
We do.
We've been talking to therapists.
I just feel like life happens though, so to make a vow, that's like really big.
That's true. I was about to say, we've been talking to therapists recently over the past couple weeks, months, and it's cool, it's good, but ain't nothing like talking to y'all. You know what I mean? So we get to let y'all into our life, and it's therapeutic. It is. So we back.
We are back.
And we have some major things to discuss.
I know, so much juicy tea.
But let's get to it. Listen, so this topic is talking about childhood trauma, growing up in the situations that we grew up in. Me having a split household. My mom majority raised me. And let me brief this. Me and my dad have an interesting relationship, and the last time I had posted something with some music that I made a long time ago, I know he was slightly offended by it. And though we don't have the best relationship, I do want to say, man, I've forgiven my father, and I pray that he forgive me for things I might have said in spite of not having him and things like that. But in no way, shape, or form do I say anything with malicious intent, or do I intend to offend my father. Where I'm at as a Christian, where I'm at as a man, I have no need to disrespect my father. And getting to know his situation even more, you kind of realize how circumstances could have made it. No excuses, but could have made it so that a father wasn't in my life. So, but I wanted to preface it by saying I'm not dissing my father. I don't have no ill will. I don't have no ill will towards my father.
Disclosure,
man. So,
Dad.
Shout out to Pops.
Yes, don't be offended. I also just wanted to say you look really good today.
Oh no, stop.
No, you do. You were sitting there setting up everything. I was like, wow.
All right.
You look nice.
Cool, and I ain't been to the gym
color
in a minute,
looks amazing on you.
Oh, shout out to Rep the Faith, man. You know, this is the fall line. You know, this is the new fall color. This little color, and we got a green one.
Yeah.
That's coming out as well, man.
Fresh
but this
cut.
right here, you know, I'm trying a little something, trying something.
You're so handsome. So yeah, that was your disclosure. That's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I guess I can kind of like start things off.
So let's talk about this because we know that your situation was pretty interesting.
A little different.
Grandma raised you because unfortunately, mom died when you were 2 years old, and your dad just wasn't around either.
Non-existent.
So how did that impact you, and how do you feel like? First, how did that impact you? Secondly, how do you feel like it prepared you for womanhood, momhood, or was it so much of an adjustment that you had to make? Yeah,
I feel like I get asked this question a lot, like how was it growing up, you know, without a mom and a dad, and like how it impacted me like now. So I feel like okay, so my mom passed when I was like 2 years old, so I have no recollection of her at all. And so all I knew was my grandma, and it's almost like a blessing in disguise where my mom kind of passed when I was young and didn't really get a chance to cherish any memories with her, so I have no idea who this person is. And so all I knew was my grandma, so it's like as long as I have her, that's all I kind of needed. So I don't have any like, oh, I missed, you know, my mom, or like it bruised me or any type of thing like that. So growing up, my grams was my mom and my dad. And it's crazy because you don't realize how things really feel or felt like until you get older. So like when you're young, living in the moment, don't know who your dad is or whatever, of course I may have had questions, but it would just kind of go in one ear out the other. And so having grandma, it was just like, oh, this is just my life. I'm just living it out. And then you get older and you like, shoot, I grew up without parents. And my friends have parents. And so as I got older, the questions came for sure. But like I said, grams was like everything for me. So mom, dad, I really didn't want for anything. And then my godmother came into the picture when I was young as well. So that was like my mom. And it was a bit confusing when I was younger because I thought that was my mom until I got older, and then they told me the story like, okay, you know, she passed away. I was told a tale as to how she died because I was young and it was very traumatic. The nature was very gruesome. Do you want to go into that later? I don't mind because I don't mind. So it was unfortunate about how she died, and then I later came to find out how by almost reading.
What was the tale that they told you?
Like nobody. I feel like my brother like tried to keep saying like, oh, she died in a car accident.
Like, I never knew that. I feel like I never knew that part.
Yeah.
That they told you a tale first before.
Yeah, and a lot of them, they didn't really tell a tale. I think my brother was the only one that really told, like, oh, it was a car accident. But I feel like my Uncle Garland, rest in peace, he was the only one that was like, I have to wait till you get older. Like, I can't tell you.
That's good.
And I was just like, dang, okay. And so, yeah, I mean, growing up now as I entered, you know, college and womanhood, like I said, I didn't really miss the aspect too much of having my birth mom, because I had my godmom and my grandma. So I had the women figures in my life to kind of help groom me to be all that I needed to be as I got older and in this position now. Definitely the absence of a father, though, growing up played a big, like, role, of course, that I didn't recognize until, again, I got older. And I'm like, oh, this is why you act like this towards your husband, because I've had father figures for sure, but I'm sure nothing trumps having both parents in a household, seeing how things are run. It just seems like a machine that just needs to be ran. A totally functioning body that's like mom, dad, everything flows down to the children. Mom does this, dad works. I mean, you know, just the traditionalism of a household like that.
And that's good, because I think in our situations, it's so rare to have that. That you kind of just almost forget how life could have been if you had both parents, right, in a household. And for me, I didn't necessarily really see that until start hanging around like Maryland homies and things like that, where they was like,
where you
know,
see your friends that like, actually have 2-parent households.
Oh, so this thing really do exist.
Oh, yeah. Like it's so foreign. Until like you actually see your friends with like moms and dads, and it's like, dang, I wish I had that. Right. Just to get a glimpse of what it felt like, you know.
And so for myself, growing up without a father, and well, more so with my mom raising a single family, being raised in a single family, it's like naturally I felt like I had this role of defending the house at a young age, at an early age. I was raised in a house with all women, right? My mom, my older sister, and my younger sister. And for me, you naturally just feel that burden of, oh, I'm the man. Right, you know what I mean? Like, and when I was young, I used to be sick because I'm the one that's taking out the trash. And I mean, sometimes she used to run Brittany too. Like, we always had our fair share taking out the trash. But as you get older, the predominantly strong things, tasks now start to be applied to you. And with that, I found myself like also being outside a lot, getting a lot of the stuff that I thought that I needed from a manly perspective. I was getting that from my friends, and then none of us really had our pops in our lives, so we was all just like trying to figure this thing out together. You know, this is, and really, honestly, Shano was a good help for us. Like, she was almost like, and she was only like 3 or 4 years older than us, but she was more so like a great influence because she was tomboy. She had a lot of the same interests and things like that. So she was able to tell us how to talk to girls, how to count our money, how to do all these things that our fathers would have done. And without her advice, we was finding everything else from like big homies on the streets. So we had to make a lot of mistakes in order to like try to weave our way into the right path of what manhood is and what life is. And I feel like the way that impacted me, it was easy for me not to have emotions, because when you look at you, but because when you're out there in the streets, you can't show emotions. It's a weakness to have emotions. Wow. You know what I mean? It's like you have to always be on your P's and Q's. You got to always be one step ahead. You can't be vulnerable. You gotta always, man, is this nigga trying to finesse me? Yeah, exactly. You're in survival mode. Like, is this nigga trying to finesse me? Is my man trying to finesse me? Do we gotta,
so somebody about to come through shoot? Do we gotta go to no time. The moment you start to show emotion, that's a weakness. You know what I mean? Get taken for granted. You know, people could really see the emotion in your eyes, and they can tell if you're scary, if you know. Wow. So that's you know,
how it was. And I think now that I'm getting older, going through therapy and things like that, you start to reveal like, oh, okay, this is why I don't have emotions, right? This is why I lack it's not that you don't have the emotion. You lack expressing the emotion because a part of you had to submerge that feeling, had to intentionally submerge it. Like, what I'm feeling, man, let me get this out the way. And the way that impacted how I am now, manhood, and even being a father, sometimes I have to reverse those mechanisms in my mind. Like, if my son is feeling a certain type of way, I gotta stop him. Bro, you a sucker for that. Because no, he's just showing emotion. And it's okay. It's like it's still a thing that I'm still working through. And I know, God will, obviously continue to work on me on those things as well. But once I think about it, was probably at least like 2 or 3 years ago where I'm like, wow, really the trauma and the experiences that we've been through
shape us.
And not only, because you got to think, you're going through years of, like, I'm talking about at least 15, 20 years of having this mindset. How do you just automatically reverse
unlearn
that?
It.
How do you unlearn it?
Therapy.
Right? That's it.
Therapy and
that's
God.
Therapy
and
God.
Jesus.
So, and so that's what it is. But, what used to kind of frustrate me the most was, I look at my sons and I'm just thinking, like, how can somebody not want to be in their child's life?
Right.
And now, as I'm going through it, praying through it and things like that, not giving no excuses, but it's like there was a systematic approach to separate.
Back then?
Even now.
Or now, okay.
Like, and I'm not trying to get too political. But even the way our justice system is set up, the way just life is for people that come from where we come from, right? And living in low income situations, it's almost like once you strip that man, once you break down those families, now they inherit this life of, it's repetitive, right? That this cycle will
repeat it.
It will be repetitive.
Of curses.
Exactly.
Generational cycles.
It perpetuates. It perpetuates to a point where it perpetuates like generation to generation. And so you think about dads. One of the things I had to think about, okay, my father wasn't necessarily in my life like in a structured way. Right. How was his dad to him?
Right. I literally just had this conversation with my friends. We talk about it all the time.
How was he raised?
We talk about it all the time.
So it's deeper. So like I said, it doesn't give an excuse for a lot of our top fathers or parents not being there, but it does give you some type of balance of like, let me have some type of
insight.
Exactly. Let me grow to learn
get in your
exactly
mind.
What happened, why, and I think that's and I honestly think that's why I want to have a sit down with my father. But I think what's been holding me back from that, like hold me back, because I want to look a nigga in the eyes and just get the real truth. I don't want no sugarcoating. I want to just, and really, I think I was able to almost put it on the back burner for so long until I had children. And so now I'm seeing even our son True in the 2nd grade, and hold on, Diane, this is just crazy, bro.
You have children and it's like
me personally, I remember what it was. Like I tell you all the time, I remember what it was going to a new school at 2nd grade. And those feeling just like but for myself, I make sure I'm encouraging him. I'm making sure that he's being a leader, that he's strong, that he's that I'm prepping him every single day because I remember that. And I'm just like, I ain't had that. And so life was hard from a standpoint of, first of all, I'm trying to already beat a system that's set up for me to lose. Okay, nigga, if you was already losing in it, at least tell me how you lost in it. Give me the tools so that way I could just try to make it as my dad be there. Now, he was locked up for X amount of years in my life and things like that as well. But it's like, still don't take away the fact that I ain't asked to be brought into this world.
Right. You still have a responsibility.
But it's all love. It's all love.
Yeah, for sure. But I would definitely encourage you to, hear it out.
Yeah. But you're showing me, you encouraging me by showing me rather than telling me. And I don't know if this is the time that kind of actually go there. Yeah. But what you guys, let me look in the camera and tell you guys this. What my wife has just recently done. First, I'm gonna say that. Let's get to, because I just gotta commend her, because what you like. Let's just talk about it. No, this is because you took my whole life and all my decision makers that I made inside of my whole life, and you just said you wiped everything that I thought away, because I can no longer justify my actions because of what you done.
Wow.
And that's crazy. Now let's get to it.
I'm so happy that I can't even make that big of an impact. Like I kind of had a clue that it was probably feeling like that for you. Like, dang.
Yeah. You
could do it. I could do it.
Yeah.
Like, so that was great to hear you say that.
So can we tell these people what's been going on?
You are more excited than me.
Yeah, I am.
So yeah, what's up guys, it's T. I hope you guys are enjoying our episode. We are coming back fresh like never before, but part 2 is coming soon, and I have some exciting news and tea to spill, so stay tuned.
For better or worse, we bound to this life, not wrong.